We are on. Round 3 is in the bag, and we're back with episode 32. Welcome back, boys. George, Arthur, great to see you guys again.
Hey,
Good to be back.
How is everyone?
How are the boys?
Good,
Good.
mate.
I'm pumped.
Very
How
good.
good's the footy?
The one thing I love about doing the pod on Wednesday night
What's
is
that?
that we're one sleep before the footy's back.
You know what?
So true.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, tough, very tough for me.
Well, Wednesday's become easier since we started doing this.
Yes, yeah,
Hey?
definitely 100%. And the quality of the rugby league, it's like I'm in heaven, Hardy. How good's it? You know, I can turn the television on, watch any game, or go to the ground, watch any game, and I know I'm going to get served up something outstanding.
Yeah.
So
been good.
I can't wait till tomorrow, and we're going to be at the ground.
Yes. Are we going?
I think I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
Okay.
That's what you said last time, and you rocked up. You didn't.
No,
You rocked
I
up anyway.
I didn't go last time.
Oh, didn't you go?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. Anyway,
We'll work it out tomorrow.
yeah, I'd like to go.
I'm happy to go.
I'd like to go. I think I'm finishing early tomorrow, so I'd like to go. You
Okay.
know, I've got to finish early on Friday as well because I'm going to. I think Sashin's going to take me to Springwood.
Springwood, mate.
Yeah,
Watch
yeah.
Sudoeka.
Watch Sudoeka, another big game.
Wow,
man.
1 o'clock back.
There you go.
80s style.
Blast from the past.
Friday night they'll be peeling me off the walls because tomorrow night I'm a lamb going to the slaughter. But
No.
I'm cool. I'm cool for it.
No way.
Gentlemen,
No
we would be remiss if we didn't kick off the show without paying tribute to John Sattler, who sadly passed away this week at the age of 80.
Yeah.
An absolute rugby league legend.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to pass over to you guys to say a few words about him, George.
Hardy?
You want to
No,
start?
go on.
Hardy?
Oh, mate. Guy's Mr. Courageous, Mr. Inspiration, isn't he? Every time growing up, I never got to see much of him because I was born
Yeah.
70s.
Me too.
But all the stories you hear, and even when he spoke on TV post, he was just sound like a gentleman. The story about the broken jaw playing through that's just inspiring and tough. Every time I think of South, I always think of him. To me, he's Mr. South.
Yeah.
And I always picture that where he's on the guy's shoulders and he's holding, and you can see his mouth. That's all I vision of South is a Sattler.
Yeah.
So it's condolences to the family, man. A tough week, and may you rest in peace, champion.
Nico Hardy, you know what? You're not defined or between the post. Your legend is between the post, but you're defined as a man. The type of family you bring up, and there's no doubt we know his son.
Yep, Scotty.
His son's an absolute gentleman,
Yeah.
and they don't call him Gentleman John for nothing. A big family man, devoted father and husband. So for me, we've heard all the stories. We know the legend about the jaw. But again, for me, what defines him as a man is his love of his family, and it's obvious that it's there to see, for argument's sake. And you know what? Condolences to the family. Look, we've lost a good one.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that, George, because when we think of Sattler, we always think of the toughness. The tough.
No
I
doubt.
grew up.
No doubt.
I was born in '75, and all I really know about him is playing through a grand final with a broken jaw in the change room, trying to put it back into place himself. And obviously, he's defined by his toughness, but he was much more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we know the legend. We know the legend. We've heard the stories. There's no doubt he was a tough man. I mean, the guy captained 3 grand finals for Souths, played 3 tests.
He did, and it's important to point out as well that the tests were not as
Frequent.
Yes, back then. So people will hear, he only played 3 tests for Australia, but it's not like it is in the modern day game.
No. So
you're talking 60s, right?
Absolutely, yeah. 60s and early 70s. So the playing career, look, undoubtedly, as I say, but what defines you as a man is what I said, your love and your family, your love for your family, and there's more evidence than his playing career for that. But anyway, like I said, we've lost a good one.
Well said, George. Well said, George. And condolences to the Sattler family.
Absolutely.
A real legend of the game and a real gentleman as well.
Yeah.
let's jump into reviewing round 3. Another action-packed weekend of footy. We've the first 3 rounds we've had some high-scoring games.
Lots of points, lots of tries.
I think, guys, the heat's really affected them. I think early the defense is there. It's tight, but after 20 minutes, everybody's gassed. I mean, I can't imagine on Sunday the Bulldogs. I can't imagine playing in 38 degrees. Seriously, how did Bateman feel? My God,
It's interesting because it's been a strange summer. The first half of the summer was barely hot at all,
yeah,
and the back end has been really hot.
Indian summer. As I said.
We're at the end of March,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we're still getting high 30s.
Yeah, look, I wanted to cool down, and I think it is going to cool down. But I wanted to cool down for a few reasons. Number one, I don't like the heat.
Yeah.
As we get older,
Number two, look, if we get in rugby league at this high clip or this high standard, can you imagine what we'll get if it's 18 degrees or 19 degrees or 20 degrees?
I'm always a believer as well that it takes 5 or 6 rounds into the comp where you really start to see combinations clicking.
That's
and
what I say too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
People are jumping up and down at the moment with their teams, but
very early.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Very
You
early.
were jumping up and down before.
Yeah, but I do that every year, George. You know me. George knows me. I go nuts and
that's why I said it.
smash things and throw everything around. And the next morning, I'm all right. Speaking of that, opening the round, Eagles 34, Eels 30.
Wow.
Another high-scoring nail-biter. Eels going down another tight one, 0-3 now. They're going to be 0-5. Easter Monday will be 2 teams who are 0-5, and they're going to have a draw in round 6.
I don't think so. But regarding this game, how good was it to watch?
Yeah,
as
it was
a
good.
neutral, how good was it, Adi?
It was good.
Um,
And Manly, really impressing. No one expected this from Manly, hey? With Seabold, new
Seabold's
coach.
doing something right.
You know what
He's
the-
doing something right.
is it the professor or is it
Flano?
a Flano?
Or is it a combination of
It
both?
must be a combination.
You mentioned it a
Must
while
be a
ago, George, that we all know Seabold. No one questions his intelligence as a
Undoubtedly.
tactician. It's just like,
Undoubtedly.
but the criticism has been that maybe he's a little too tactical and intelligent in terms of trying to translate that information to the players.
Yeah, I
He
think
seems
so.
to have that buffer now with Flanagan. Maybe Flanagan's doing the job of interpreting,
I think so.
or
think
maybe
so.
teaching Seabold how to dumb it down a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. This is all just a speculation.
I think you're right. I think he learnt his lesson at the Broncos, and I think he handpicked Flano. I think it's a perfect combination. How long Flano's going to stay there, I don't know, because I'm flabbergasted he's not in the first grade job at the moment. But regardless of that, they're perfect together, obviously, and how I know they are is how physical and manly.
And even
They're so
if
physical.
Turbo was on 360 the other night, last night I think it was. Hearing other players speak, they've bought in. The players have bought into him. So
Exactly.
Well, they've
So
got
is
to.
Siebes.
They've got to. Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
to be. It's got to be the mad professor because defense tells you the story. Attack.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to attack. Everybody wants the ball in their hand. But defense is when everybody ties in. Everybody believes in something. So yeah, look, they're well connected. And look, you know, at the end of the day, it was anyone's game. I mean, I wouldn't worry for us as a Parramatta supporter. They've got to start winning soon. But
interestingly, their attack is exactly where it was this time last year.
in terms
The
of numbers,
the defense has changed.
okay.
They're
Well,
conceding a lot more. But again, as we go through the games, we see, so many 70, 80 points. Parramatta have conceded 80 points in the first 3 games. And there's so many high-scoring games that you wonder, is it the heat or what is it?
Another thing you've got to consider as well with Manly is they had most of the year last year without Turbo, and he makes a huge difference in the attack. You should see him; he runs everywhere. You can see him just trying to go through. So
Artie, he makes a huge difference in defence.
he does it in everything.
The
That's why,
fullback
so-
marshalling the troops, calling the shots from a defensive
Exactly.
point of view as well.
Exactly. So I'll give some credit to Turbo as well.
Yeah.
Having him back is a huge up in for them as well.
Coming off a bye might have helped them as well.
where's
I have to throw that one in.
the that new 5'8", which I can never
Schuster?
say. Yeah, I can't say his name.
Josh Schuster.
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 I can't say it.
Just think of Schuster.
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 Schuster. How amazing is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
You could
goes.
see
He's
it.
a big body.
Yeah.
He goes to the line. So what happens? The line stops because he's 120 kilos. Okay, but guess what? He's got ball skills like
Oh, yeah.
a 5'8". He's a 5'8", and everything revolves around him. So I found it amazing. And not only that, Tommy, we know he's great with ball in hand. Okay, but what he does off the ball,
Yeah.
because realistically, he has 10 touches. What, a minute? Is he in the game with ball in hand and defense for 10 minutes? It's what he does off the ball, which makes him even more dangerous, a kick out sort of thing, than when he's on the ball. So the forwards, unbelievable. But you know what? What they gave Manly, they got back from Parramatta. Gutho came to the fore.
Yeah.
He tries so hard.
He does. Week in, week out. He's so consistent.
Tries so hard.
I just want to throw in as well, Schuster seems to complement Cherry Evans as well.
Cherry, you know what the good thing about Cherry knows now, he's getting older. He doesn't have to be the focus. So he can give the ball to Schuster.
Yeah.
That's it. He can give the ball to Schuster and just wait. Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go to the line. So it's taken a lot of pressure off him. You know what? I never liked Ruben Garrick. He's good.
Oh, yeah.
He's good. He's good.
He's good.
Yeah.
What's the centre inside of him? The ginger head.
Parker.
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 I never
Brad
liked him.
Parker.
I never liked Brad Parker. He's good too.
Seabold has got them clicking. I know it's early days, but he's got them going well.
Have they got depth?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not too sure. I don't know.
Okay, so regardless of the depth, and now this week and next week will tell us a story on Manly if they're real, but they're very physical.
Yeah.
And I love watching them because they're physical. You told me about Parramatta. Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Watch the game. Okay. Tell me, what's the issue? Is it just pure and simple the defense? That's it.
Defense. Especially that side with Simonson and Blake. It's a bit of a revolving door at the moment. Defense needs to be better. And probably going to sound like a coach now. Execution in the big moments. That's been the story of the first 3 games. But as I said, they're scoring points. But you can't concede 30 points and expect to win a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can, but realistically,
No, you can't.
It's not something that you can just you can't.
What about it's 2 weeks in a row now where Parramatta has lost on goal kicking because at the end of the day they both scored the same amount of tries.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
But then Manly kicked 2 goals.
yeah,
Parra didn't
yeah.
miss those 2 goals.
Moses' kicking hasn't been. Is he distracted?
Exactly. And last week the same. They
I mean,
scored the same.
he's playing well, but the goal kicking. I mean, that's a
He's
confidence thing.
He's
How important-
100% distracted.
Yeah. But how important is goal kicking? Just goes to show
Oh,
how important
absolutely.
it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially in this day and age.
Yeah,
It's not like when we grew up watching it where another player would hold the ball with his finger,
yeah.
and then they'd toe bash it. I think Meninga was the last player I saw with the toe poking style.
I'll never forget seeing that kicking for touch, actually. The Crow.
Yeah.
Cronin kicking for
Yeah.
touch.
Thurlow would put his finger on the ball.
I couldn't believe it. But look, entertaining, yes. High quality, at times, yes. At times, not.
Patchy, very patchy.
Patchy. They've got to learn. Both teams got to learn to attack, defend, because if they don't, when they get into the business part of the year, they won't be there. I like Manly. I like Schuster. I like the Manly pack rolling. I actually like the Parramatta pack rolling. I thought the Parramatta pack, you said Moses, he was in and out of the game. He's a distracted, yes, but still, he's still playing pretty decently.
Like I said, their attack is there.
You know what? I still love those back rowers, which we didn't know anything about.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that
like
has
them.
been missing their entire back row for the first 3 games.
But they're good.
With Ryan Madison and Sean Lane to come back. And I think you're seeing as well the impact that Lane has on Dylan Brown's game.
Yeah.
On that side,
Yeah.
Tell me,
Not being there.
Tell me the relationship between Hodgson, is it
The hooker?
The hooker. Hodgson comparing it to Moni in terms of off the ground. Okay, he's a good ball player. he should be a 5'8".
Yeah, he is.
But is that contributing to maybe the clunkiness?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
let's not forget, Hodgson has been there for 3 games. Marnie was there for 3 years. You know, so it's those things take time. And you're talking about a hooker who's turning 34 this year, and he missed all of last year after doing his ACL in round 1. So it's going to take a little bit of time.
Can I just say that I'm surprised with Cartwright. I didn't think he can contribute that much. Okay.
That's not his natural game.
But still, I think he's contributing enough. Now, I can't say this name.
Olakawatu.
I love him.
He's great.
My
He's
new man
fantastic.
crush.
Yeah,
My
he's
new man
great.
crush. Okay, please tell me he's a New South Welshman. Please tell me he's a New
I
South
don't
Welshman.
know.
He's a Blacktown boy. He's got to be. He's on that
I don't
bus.
know. But I did see Billy Slater come out last week and say they're looking at Hopgood for Queensland.
So they should.
Bit early, but
He's a perfect
encouraging. Yeah.
I think I did hear he is New South Wales. I think Brad Fittler.
You know, there's so many youngsters or some of these players who live in Blacktown. There's a bus that goes picks them up every day, goes around all the Blacktown area because they're all Blacktown juniors, all Parramatta juniors. So
You're going to hate me for saying this, George.
Brad Parker. We mentioned Brad Parker.
Keep an eye on Cooler as well, the other centre.
Who's that?
Tolawatu Cooler. He's a very good player.
Yeah,
He's speedy and
Local
he's
product?
only a young fella, but I think he's his second year. But he's a quality centre too.
Local product?
He's going to be good.
And the last thing I know you want to go there. I love Will Penasini.
Yeah, he's good.
Yes,
I
me
can't
too.
believe how good
He's
Will
good.
Penasini is. And let me tell
He's
you,
going to get better.
he was in Sullivan's class and Sloane's class. Okay, in terms of they came up in the same era. Okay, so if Will can be that good with 30 NRL games
His best
now,
friend is Joseph Sorley.
is it?
They're best mates. They grew up together.
Did they?
Yeah.
He's older, isn't he? Isn't he 21?
No, they're the same age.
Is he 19?
Yeah.
No, Joseph's.
He's 21. They're both 21.
Okay.
Which guy
maybe
are you
I'm
talking
wrong.
about? Joseph Suwali.
From the Roosters.
Suwali.
Suwali.
Yeah.
Okay.
Penasini. They grew up together.
Wow.
Okay,
They're
yeah,
best
yeah.
friends. That's why he was joking about bringing Suwali over to the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just going back. If Will Penasini is that good at the moment, can you imagine what Sloane and Sullivan are going to do when they get 30, 40
They just extended him
games?
too.
So they should.
Um,
they should.
Oh,
And
good.
just going back to your point about Origin, you're going to hate me for saying this,
No.
but with the upcoming anticipated changes to eligibility, it's not going to matter where they come from. They'll be able to play for whoever they want.
That's for another.
I'm slipping
show.
in a low blow there. Okay.
That's for another show, Nico. Another
I
show.
was going to say that too. To be honest, doesn't matter.
Another show.
Okay. Anyway, enough about the Eels. Moving on to Friday evening, and the Knights hosted the Dolphins. Went down 36 points to 20. Boys, the Dolphins, a hat trick, 3 from 3. I would never have picked it.
No one.
Can I just say, it's the feel-good story of the year. I'd like to talk general because it's only round 3. I don't want to dig in unless I see a real issue. So the Dolphins are the feel-good story of the year. I actually like them. I actually like watching them play, Nicola. Not only that, in terms of technical rugby league, they're playing the best March rugby league from all the teams. Why? Okay, high completions. Okay, and go for the middle.
Wayne Bennett.
Wayne Bennett's done well.
Wayne Bennett.
Okay. The problem is in a
Super
couple of
coach.
weeks, yeah. But at the moment, okay, they're playing.
They've lost
the best rugby
Kafusi
league.
now for 4 games,
Yeah.
which
He's an
I'm
issue.
I'm astounded, to be honest with you, that he got 4 games for that tackle. And I know I'm a little bit old school. Every replay I saw of that tackle was in slow motion. You watch it in normal speed, there's literally no time to pull out of it.
Yeah.
4 games.
I disagree, mate. His record, he's got 3 elbows.
But this isn't about his record.
I know.
This is no. I hear you.
It's
I hear
karma. It's karma for all those ones he
I
got
don't,
away with.
I
All the
don't,
elbows
I
to
don't,
the
I don't
head.
call him Macho Man for nothing.
Yeah.
He dropped more elbows than the Macho Man did in his career. But this is an independent incident, right?
Doesn't matter, mate.
And that's absurd. To get 4 games for that tackle,
I thought it was a
ridiculous.
late shot. I didn't like it, mate. I thought it was
how
a
is
late
it late?
shot.
How is it late? Like in normal speed, it's like 1/10 of a second.
There was.
How is that
it's
late?
It's not that. It's
Your mind can't even adjust fast enough to make a decision that quick in that
I want in.
in that
I
moment.
want in here.
Watch it in normal speed,
I
George.
did. I want in. Okay.
What do you think?
Number one. So what happens when you change jersey? You
Yeah,
know, wear
exactly.
that purple from
Exactly.
Yeah, good
the
point.
Storm.
Yep.
Number
Yeah.
one. Number two, you know what? You're right. But there's only one small little issue, okay? I know his intent. There's no doubt about in my mind, because he's a rat bag anyway.
Yeah.
So guess what? Good.
Wait a second, but
There was no the intent was there.
but of course the intent was there. If you're a half, if you're a pivot with ball in hand, running that deep into the line, 5-10 meters out from the opposing try line, everyone's going to have intent when they move to tackle you, aren't they?
Yeah. So, joking aside, how the league sees it, the minute you turn your back or you hit someone from behind and you don't brace, lack of a better word, it's a dog shot.
Then how do you explain the tackle they compared it to from the Roosters?
Easy.
Absolutely.
The guy had his arm wrapped around him. When he hit him, he actually had his arm wrapped around.
That was even worse. He got hit it in the back.
Both of them did.
And later, so if Kafusi gets 4, he should get 4 too.
He had released the ball already.
So at the
Both
end of the
of them were
day,
pretty bad.
at the end of the day, they got
Suaalii, yeah.
Suaalii. Sorry, I'm really bad with these names. So, he got let off pretty easy.
He did.
But all I can say is, the law firm of Kafusi and Nelson.
He forgot to wear the jersey.
No, but I'm aware of all that. But again,
last year they got off with Scott.
No, I know that. I know that.
Murder.
Believe me. And he did things in the Parramatta game as well that he got let off with. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that if that's the precedent we're setting, how can you call something late when it's that instant?
I'm sorry, mate, but I'm a Dragons fan, and Ravalawa got punished for exactly the same thing. 4 weeks. How many times did we see him on the sideline?
Yeah, I remember.
I don't agree with that either.
I know,
Arthur,
but still,
I don't agree with that either.
I want consistency. If Ravo's going to cop it, so is he. So all this hoo-ha about him, I think he deserved it.
My point is, how do we stop it?
Consistency.
Yeah, but
so now on anyone that does a dog shot is 4 weeks.
So you can't tackle anyone who runs into the line with a ball in hand.
This is joking aside now,
because if they pass and you can't back out of a tackle when you're half an inch away from them, running at 30, 40 kilometres an hour with a split, not even a split second, less than a split second in it, you can't make the. What do we do?
Adi, and Nicola, joking aside now, and we like Adi and me like joking about Kafusi Nelson. Joking aside, you're right. And it's the word you said, consistency, and we're going back even more than the bunker now. We're going to what are they called, the committee there, the
MRC.
No, the
Match Review Committee.
The Match Review Committee,
MRC, yeah.
And then you've got the judiciary. Okay, that word consistency, we're not going to get it. We've been trying for 100 years.
I want consistency too. But
I want it too.
To me, it's no different to when you see accidental head contact, right? When a player is 30 inches off the ground, they're making a tackle, there's accidental contact with the head. We all know what a stiff arm looks like. We all know what a swinging arm looks like. But you also know when there's accidental contact. And I'm happy to penalise, but I don't think you should be punishing accidental contact. If it's reckless or careless, that's different. But at what point do we say, because now the halves can run straight at the line, deep, and you know what? The forwards are going to be afraid to even attempt to tackle because if they pop it a tenth of a second before they make contact, that guy's going in the bin.
Yeah, no, look, I don't disagree. But the forwards are going to have to keep on hitting. I got nothing. It's the word you said, consistency, and I think he probably got the 4 weeks because of his reputation.
And I don't have a problem with that part of it.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about this is going to change the game.
Did you see Andrew Johns' reaction on the Sunday Footy Show with that incident?
No.
He was filthy. He goes, that is the biggest dog shot, and he's a halfback, and he knows. He goes, he got him on purpose. That was a dog shot.
He got him on purpose.
He was filthy about it.
What halfback doesn't complain about getting hit after the fact?
He would know more. I would trust his judgment on what is a dog shot and what isn't, and he's clearly said that was a dog shot. No, that was a clear attempt to
for
take
me,
him out.
that's one man's opinion. I don't see it that way.
No,
That's a halfback defending halfbacks. I mean, I'm shocked. I got to lie down. You know,
You got him late.
The worst thing from all this is that we're missing out on watching him play against the Broncos, and
Why can't they fight it though? Why can't they do what a
They
Taylor
did.
they
May?
did fight it.
No,
They
no,
lost.
a Taylor May thing and say, can we have the delayed 1 week?
Because they're not- because
they
they're not
can't do
Penrith.
that again.
Exactly.
They're not
no,
Penrith.
but
And-
this is when they should test it. I was hoping he'd get 4 weeks and then they would fight
Yeah.
to have it extended, to have it done starting the following week.
The NRL
because
shit the
it's a big
bed
game.
on
Exactly,
that
yeah.
one. Okay,
They
everyone
wanted to
knows
see
that.
they
that.
missed that one.
That's just
They
ridiculous.
missed that
By
one.
the way, he should still be suspended for the first 2 games of next year because he hasn't served it yet.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got injured in the trials this year.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
We'll
he
see
is.
what
He
happens.
is. I hope so. I hope he
But,
gets. I hope they do make that right. But back to this game.
Yeah, yeah. We don't want to overshadow the performance from the Dolphins.
Yes,
They were outstanding.
Yeah.
they were. Yeah.
I love all the forwards. Nicarima came into
So that they lost Marshall and they brought in Nicarima.
yeah.
See,
How good was that?
Bennett's smart. With his hookers, he's always got a good backup. Always.
And they're
Every
already
team.
talking about extending Marshall already.
I think they did.
Yeah, they already have.
I think so. Yeah.
They're really, really
Good.
impressed with him off the field as well as on the field.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So they did everything right. They hung in. I don't think Newcastle was terrible. I think Lockie Miller is outstanding. How good is Lockie Miller?
They're very
Seriously.
depleted too.
They are
Told
very
you, man.
depleted,
Yeah.
and,
I told you.
and there's a few things on foot there, but we'll talk about that later, I guess. But Lockie Miller was outstanding. You know what? I've got a new favourite player, Gamble. He's outstanding. You know what? His mouth does more work than his legs. He just fucking slags everybody.
His mouth is the 14th man.
Oh, he just goes at everybody, guys. He goes at everybody. So you know, in that team of what's the lock at or the front rower at North
Ruben
Queensland?
Cotter. We've got Ruben Cotter.
Cotter.
And we've got
The
Carl
man-
Lawton.
Carl Lawton. He's
And
into
Gamble. Yeah,
Gamble's
those
into it.
three.
I love
That would be a
We're
mad
getting
three.
close to making up a man crush team.
Oh, and we've got
Tino,
Big
Big Tino.
Yeah. So Gamble's the best. You know what? Leave him at 5'8". Don't worry about Ponga. Put him somewhere else. Put him on the wing. Leave this guy at 5'8". Just for me to watch and laugh my head off every week. I love him. You know what? Jackson Hastings steered him around. Was it entertaining? At bits and pieces, entertaining. The Dolphins on a high. They won three games. Newcastle injury issues.
It's not alarm bells yet, is it, for Newcastle because of their situation?
Look, no.
And they did win the
They're
week before.
depleted. They're
Yeah.
depleted.
They're depleted. So I'm not going to worry about it. There's some things happening behind the background to try to get some forwards to them. We'll talk about that in the gossip part.
Okay.
Did you enjoy the game? I thought it was an
Yeah.
entertaining game.
I enjoyed every game.
Yeah, I thought it was an entertaining game. I don't want to worry about any of these teams yet. A little worry about the Knights' injury, you're told, but beside that, it's round 3. It was a good game.
Another thing with the Dolphins, I'll just go back to the Dolphins. Their back line is so underestimated. Tessie New, Isako, Fidel, and Ewan Aitken, they're 4 quality backs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they really
Aiken's been around the block.
exactly
A lot.
And he's playing
experienced,
outstanding.
great
too.
players too.
Yeah.
With plenty of NRL experience.
You know what Supercoach did? He went and bought solid first grade rugby league
yeah.
players.
He got a team full of tradesmen, didn't he?
That's it.
He was hoping for one superstar.
Yeah.
He didn't get that superstar. But you know what?
Yet.
The superstar will come. The superstar will come. Okay. And how much I don't like Bennett is how much I respect the man. You know what I mean? It's obvious what he's done in the last 3 rounds. And you know what? They might not win a game all year now after that. But still, I respect the man. You know what I mean?
I love Bennett. I love Bennett.
Yeah,
I'm a
well,
fan.
you know what?
I'm
You
a
you
fan.
can run, but you can't hide. He
Yeah.
hit 6 rings.
Yeah.
6 rings down the track. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
The superstar's going to be Katoa. He's going to be a superstar.
he's good.
He's
He's
very
injured this
He
week.
might be
but-
out this year. We'll cover that when we preview. But
It's a shame.
yeah, so
It's a shame.
their depth will definitely be tested this week.
That's going to be the problem.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah. Although the MILF's going to make his return. But again, we'll cover that
I hope not.
apparently. But we'll cover that when we preview anyway.
Maybe he's learned his lesson.
The next game was a rip snorter. The Roosters,
Feature game, wasn't it?
yeah, just got home against the Rabbitohs, 20 points to 18. That was Rabbitohs got off to a fast start. I've got my own opinion on this.
Let me go first.
You go first.
I found this game intriguing. I thought at the start of the year that the Bunnies had sat down, talked about things in the off season. Okay, had worked out their mental issues, and they're ready to have a tilt at the competition. Because make no mistake, a team who makes 6 prelims, is it Nicola, or is it 4?
5.
5 prelims, okay,
And a grand final.
and a grand final. That tells me that it's more a mental thing than a cattle thing. Okay. Now I thought over the off season they've worked it out, but guess what? They fall back in the same hole every time. Now against Penrith, I gave them a pass mark. Okay. I said, well, you know what? Stuff happens. It is Penrith. Okay.
Penrith were good.
They were good that
Yeah.
night, okay? And I don't believe they'll be that good for all year.
yeah.
That's my opinion,
Hope
okay?
not.
But against their arch rivals, against the Roosters, okay, they lost the plot again. For some reason, they went off script, okay? They went off script, and if Cody goes off script,
Yeah.
okay, guess what? Ilias doesn't play well, okay, because he's a little boy yet, okay, and everything around just doesn't work. Unfortunately, Cody and Latrell, okay, drive that team. And you know what? I'm starting to think it's probably not the best combination. I thought it was at the start of the year, but I'm starting to think it's not the best combination. So they've got to sit down and have an honesty session, because you know what? Time goes really quickly. 3 years passes really quickly, and then all of a sudden they're all in their mid-30s and the window's closed and a golden opportunity has left. So Souths, pull your socks up, please. Okay. This game, the minute that Hargraves, and I love the guy, it's a shame he's leaving.
What a difference he made.
Yeah, and you know what? Not only Hargraves, the cheese came on, okay, and
Yeah.
completely changed the momentum of the game. And you know how I say that a halfback's job is to extend that momentum, okay, and the other halfback's job is to grab that momentum back. They couldn't get the momentum back.
By the way, Hargraves, he might not be leaving. Robbo said on 360 the other
hope so.
night they'll revisit it towards the back end of the season.
Okay.
See how he's feeling and what he wants to do.
Well,
He's playing well enough to get another 2 years.
Yeah. Look, it's only round 3. Hopefully he can look. Even if he comes on and gives 20 good minutes, my God, he changed that whole momentum of that game. You know what? I honestly believe he runs on, and the other team looks and they're scared. I honestly
Hardy?
believe it.
Your thoughts?
Mate, you know what? It was a very even contest,
It
but
was.
Robbo, the master, that's why I think he's the best coach ever.
Master.
He knew when to eject Brandon Smith and Warrior Hargraves. He just did it perfectly. He waited to weather the storm, and then he brought these guys in, and they just changed everything. And that was just the master plan. I don't think Dimitri expected it. I thought they were going to start. It was just smokes and mirrors, and then at the end he just pulled the rug from out of him and just brought him one at the right time.
It's an interesting clash.
And
isn't it?
it was a good clash. Yeah, they did, but they made the difference when they came on.
Oh.
If they started, I reckon it would have been a different game.
The biggest worry about that was Souths couldn't wrestle back the momentum. So we go back to the key players, and I'm going to throw Ilias under the bus, okay? Because one good game doesn't make a season, and I won't lie, I'm a little bit upset because the 2 games he's had after the good game was very poor, very poor, and like I might have gone early, and yeah, they couldn't get the momentum back, and 9 times out of 10. You get a little bit of momentum back at some stage, even if the other team comes over you. So that's the biggest disappointment. Look, the score was 18-20. So
It's 2
we're not talking.
points.
Yeah, we're not talking about a flogging, and probably it was four tries each or 3 tries.
No.
But
4
they
to
did
3.
they did have a
They scored
healthy
1
lead.
extra.
They had a 10-12-0 lead.
10-12
Souths,
at some
yeah,
stage,
whatever it
yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah, Souths did, yeah. So look, that's a positive because the first 20 minutes they were all over the Roosters, but what kind of buy is Brandon Smith going to be? He's going to be a good one.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw my 20 cents in,
Yeah, please.
right? Because we sat here a few weeks ago talking about, I was disagreeing with both you guys.
Yeah.
You guys set off fireworks every time Souths win a game, talking about
We don't even
Demetrio.
like Souths.
And I'm not convinced yet. His game plan fell flat on its face the other night. Robbo, we were talking about how last year in the semis he outsmarted Robbo. that backflipped
Absolutely.
last Friday night.
Absolutely.
Ilias was nowhere to be seen. Cody Walker ran 10 metres to push someone, which ultimately conceded the penalty that the Roosters scored from to win the game.
Thank you, Cody.
So they lost their heads. They lost their heads. Now, I might have egg on my face, and I'm cool to sit here and admit if I'm wrong, whatever. I just don't see what you guys see in Demetrio yet. We'll see. Time will tell.
You just hit the nail on the head. It was bloody Cody who lost his head, and that's what threw the game plan out.
Yeah, but
but that's what George alluded to when he was praising Demetrio about his game plan was controlling that hothead.
Yeah.
Who's so and you know what, when they talked to Robbo on 360, he just as much admitted it. Yeah. He's easy to bait, and we target him.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. And that's what I alluded to at the start of the conversation here, Nicola. Is I actually thought they sat down and sorted out these issues. It's mental. It's bloody mental.
Of course it is.
And you know what? If this keeps on going on, that window's going to close on them. Because Cody is 33, 32?
He's up there,
Yeah.
He debuted at 26 or 27,
right.
28.
27, yeah.
Something like that.
So the time's going to go, and you don't get these opportunities with that quality cattle too many times in your life.
Yeah.
So I hope they get it together.
And to be fair to South, they lost the front row in what was it, the first tackle of the game, first minute of the game. Yeah.
And it is a big loss, and they're depleted this week as well, Nicola.
Yeah.
They're a little bit depleted this week as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like you guys said, there was 2 points in it. It was a great game to watch.
It was a great game to
neutral.
watch.
You know that guy Blake Taff?
Yep.
What position is he? A half?
Or
is he a fullback?
I thought he was a fullback.
It's a fullback. Okay, no worries. I thought if he's the next in line to take over from Cody, and he's got a partnership with Elias, that'll make a big difference.
So the fact there is that him and Ilias were the halves.
They were the halves?
In the Regis.
So they got the combi. Okay.
Yeah, but they put him at fullback
to
to squeeze him in, but he's a 7.
So he's next in line. He's next in line.
The problem with that is that didn't they just extend Cody Walker?
Yeah, no, they extended.
He's not going anywhere.
No, Cody and
Latrell.
Latrell's extended.
Latrell did everything he could.
Latrell went well.
Latrell played
well.
No, he got extended too, didn't recently?
Latrell got extended.
They're a package deal, those two.
Yeah.
And Cookie for 2 years.
Cookie got extended. So they're going to milk all of them, get everything out that they can out of them, but it doesn't mean they're going to be there on that day. Yes, I hope so.
So Saturday afternoon kicked off with a 38 points to 34 Gold Coast over Melbourne. We're talking about these high-scoring games. First of all, I'm shocked that Gold Coast could actually score 38 points in a game. So,
I'm not.
So credit to the Titans.
They've always been a good attacking team.
Storm. I mean, the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Craig Bellamy said it's the worst injury toll he's seen in his time at the club. That's 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? Now, they're expecting to get Munster back this week, but now they've lost Jerome Hughes for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, Pappenhausen, who knows when he's coming back? We just don't know.
No, perhaps.
So,
perhaps doubtful for this
but,
year.
the Gold Coast still had to, like the Bulldogs the week before, Gold Coast still had to go out there and win it.
Yeah.
And I don't care how depleted the Storm is, they're never a pushover.
No.
So, props to the Gold Coast to put 38 points on them.
Well, number one, I found it entertaining in a funny way.
Absolutely.
It was hot as hell.
Yeah.
And look, excuse a lot of these teams because you don't play rugby league in 33 degrees or 34 degrees. That's not what it's meant to be. I would question OH&S, the Bulldogs on this game if they actually would let it go on. But anyway, it's the league.
The Bulldogs game, they had drinks breaks.
Yeah.
They didn't do it in this game, did they?
They did.
They did?
Yeah,
okay.
they
Sorry,
did
my
game,
bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did in this game, but in terms of the actual game, okay, all I can say about the Storm, it's a very unstorm.
Yeah, they're missing too many troops.
Yeah, and you can see Bellamy, he's just overspraying. He just you see him in the box and he just
I mean,
he's overspraying.
I know we don't generally count departures as losses, but considering the Bromwich brothers, Brandon Smith, Kafusi,
big chunk of the
Solomon is out.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole forward pack's been wiped out. So,
no. Look, and you know what? I bet you any money, still, they'll make the 8 because it's a Storm.
Oh, yeah. It's Bellamy's last year's coach. He's not going out like that.
That's right. Now, the Titans, I actually enjoy watching this team play.
Yeah.
I don't know why I enjoy watching this team play, but I enjoy watching this team play. It's 6 tries all, by the way.
Hasn't
Yeah.
Foz made a difference?
I love Foz, and you know why he makes a difference? Because he's got this calmness about him, and he can tell people where to go. That's what they wanted. I don't think Brinsom's going to leave fullback now. I think that's it now.
Yeah.
They're going to keep him at fullback. So young, what's his name?
Tanner Boyd.
Tanner Boy got injured, didn't he?
Did he? I can't remember. He's kicked all the goals.
Yeah, he kicked the goals. I think he got injured.
So now they're going to bring Sexton back.
I hope so. No, I hope so because I know they love him,
Yeah.
but I think if you see Tanner in this team, Tanner Boyd in this team, Sexton in this team, you'll see something different.
Okay.
He's a genuine half, man. He's a genuine number 7.
Yeah.
I love Tino. I'm gonna say it now. I love Tino.
Yeah. He's
The
good.
guy's an animal. He's
He is great.
unbelievable.
And his brother was on the bench too.
Yeah. Is he got injured? I think he got
I
injured.
think he got injured. Yeah.
I think he got injured. Yeah.
But he was on the bench.
Can you
at
put the
start.
2 squad lineups?
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry, they're there.
Dead air.
The main thing is that it was entertaining, and I wouldn't go too much further than that. Did anyone see David Fafita? Did he play well?
It was solid.
I just watched the highlights of the mini match.
Did
for
you?
this one.
Okay.
I
It
didn't
was
watch the full
solid.
game.
Okay, so I'm the one who saw the whole game. I'll say it again. I love Tino, and I had a good time watching the game. Storm, it's an unlike Storm sort of game, and
To concede that many points.
yeah, and I don't worry about either team still at the moment, and I think that both teams will make the 8. How's that?
Are we worried about the Cowboys?
Yes.
Going down to the Warriors, 12 points, 26 points to 12.
I did not see that coming.
Let's
either.
not take anything away from the Warriors. Webster who?
Yeah. Yep, Webster who. And I want to address Webster who and the Canterbury coach. You know what? Penrith have got some outstanding rugby league players, but alongside outstanding rugby league players, they've got outstanding coaching. We see Webster who went to New Zealand team, and they're improving out of sight.
Yeah.
I actually can't believe how much they're
Yep.
improving.
Yep.
And we've got Mr. Popular who went to the Bulldogs, and same thing. Now I'm not saying they're going to make the 8 either team, okay, but wow, what kind of improvement have we seen? So again, not only has Penrith got some of the best players, they've got the best coaches. Now, in this game, I worry about the Cowboys because they've lost their identity and they're losing their DNA. Everything was based around the defense.
Yeah.
But the Warriors scored 26 points and the Cowboys looked dreadful. So I'm not going to cut my wrists at the moment because I still believe the Cowboys will get it together.
It was in Townsville too.
It was in Townsville as well. It must have been hot.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to cut my wrists. But the minute I see teams losing their identity or losing their DNA, as I call it, I worry a bit. But you know what? I think they got a really good coach. So I believe in what's the coach called again?
But Webster.
Peyton.
Payne.
Oh, Payton,
I
sorry.
believe in Payne. Now the Warriors, different story. Can you put the line up? The Warriors, a completely different story. How good's your favourite 5'8" for the Warriors?
Sean Johnson.
No, the other one, the 5'8". Tam, what is his name?
Sorry, I'm a bit lost. I'm trying to get
Stacey Jones.
Stacey. No. It's not working, George.
Okay, there we go.
It's not working. Oh, there you go.
There we go. What do we got? Which one do you press? Press it. Now, I've got more man crushes. Okay. Now, when you see the 5'8" name, you're going to say, of course.
It's Martin.
Tamari Martin.
Tamara Martin.
Tamari Martin. How good is he? Why would you get rid of him? Why would the Broncos get rid of
For Reece
Martin?
Walsh, I don't know.
Keep both. Keep both. No, keep both. Seriously. Okay,
Yeah, but
and you know what? Sean Johnston has winded back the clock. So he's got this perfect balance of controlling a team now. Remember Benji when he got to his back end of his career?
Yeah.
He learned how to control the game and run when he had to run, unless he used to run all the time. Now what are you showing me?
Penrith Junior.
Of course he's a Penrith Junior. Of course Tamari Martin's a Penrith Junior.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't everybody else is a Penrith Junior? But the lineup, buddy.
Yep.
But I enjoyed this game despite watching the Cowboys go down. And as they say, I can't wait to see the Warriors this week. But there's only one small little problem with the Warriors this week.
They're playing the Bulldogs, aren't they?
Yeah. So I don't think I'll be tipping them.
Well, is it in New Zealand? I think it is.
Yeah, it is in New Zealand. We do.
Yeah, look, hats off to the Warriors. They're performing well.
There they are. Let me just get
Even when they
something.
lose, they're in the fight, and that's what matters. Even when they're losing games, they're still in the fight. So there's obviously been an attitude adjustment there, and
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's telling.
And the defense, it's just so much tighter now. You know,
Yeah.
Warriors used to always leak points. You know
They
that.
kept the Cowboys to 12 points at home,
Fantastic.
preliminary finalists
Yeah.
last year. So
I think the Cowboys are trying to be more flary than defensive. You know what I mean? And that's they're gone way off their game.
they've moved away from what
Terrible.
worked for them
the
last
winning
season.
formula.
Yeah,
Exactly, and that's sad.
they'll find it again.
Yeah, they should.
find it
Hopefully, yeah. Like you said, we've got faith in Payton.
They're missing the hammer, but they'll find it again.
He was on the bench anyway because they had the other guy.
Sorry. Now that I've got the team up and everybody has sort of worked out that I'm not very good with names, Dylan Walker off the bench. What a revelation!
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. Okay, I absolutely love Egan. I didn't think I would love Egan, and I'm going to guess he's a Penrith junior as
Absolutely,
well.
yes.
I love Egan. Fanua Blake, very close to my man. Not quite a
we
man
always
crush.
knew how good he is.
Yeah, it's good, man.
He's better. And you know what? Players like Pompey have got a brand new life in them. Okay, and I can't say this name. I found a brand new fullback. What's his name?
Tuapiki.
Do you remember? He was outstanding. He's a young man. He'll probably go back to the Reggies, but I love him. So watch out for was it Tuapiki?
Tuapiki.
Yeah, look, I'm dreadful with names, but he was
I'm not even
outstanding.
going to try that one.
How was Tom Chester, the guy from?
You know
West
what?
Cowboys?
I see a lot of upside, but
Lot
he
of
was
raps
always
on
a lot. It was under the pump all
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's a poor guy, but I see upside. Felt's having a shocker this year. So I don't know what's happening with Felt. Valentine Holmes had an unhappy game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you know what? The forwards, they were just roughshotted by the Auckland forwards.
Exactly, mate.
Huss wasn't seen.
It's a good back row, isn't it? The Warriors, when you look at it, Tohu Harris, Nakura, and Mitch Barnett. It's a very powerful back row. And Barnett got injured too, eh?
Yeah, he got injured. But you know what? If you tell
me.
me that the Warriors will make the 8 this year, I wouldn't. How they're playing?
You never know.
Maybe.
They look more likely this year than they have for the last how
This
many
year's
years.
going to be tight.
Yeah,
It's
it
going to
will
be very tight.
It's going to be the tightest. The tightest year on record, I reckon.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
Now, closing out Saturday, the Broncos and the Dragons. Arthur,
Jeez.
I actually got home and I looked at my phone. It was 18-16 with about 25, 30 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I thought I'll put this one on, and the Broncos ended up taking it out 40 points to 18. Now, one thing that I thought was interesting was Payne Haas was on the bench, and the commentators, I think it might have been Gary Alexander or Michael Ennis or someone saying, I'd be holding him off for now, 15 minutes to go or whatever. And I'm thinking, why would you be holding him off? Get him on. He came on and just ran
He
roughshod.
destroyed us, yeah. He was fantastic.
What happened?
So, look,
Because it was obviously close up until that point.
I honestly thought Brisbane would win comfortably, and when St George were up 18-6, I was shocked. And they played good football. St George were really, they were on top of the Broncos. They really unsettled them. And then the last kick of the game of the first half, what's his name? Reynolds kicks a field goal, 2-point field goal, and puts them 8 points behind. I thought Reynolds was by far the star. He just controlled that game. And then the second
It just
half,
gets better, doesn't it?
second half, it was 32-2 at the end because they scored 32 points.
Yeah.
Mind you,
But they
there was
raked in
4
a few,
tries
yeah.
in 8 minutes, which
Yeah.
was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think the Heat got to him in the end, but it was a valiant effort by the Dragons. In the first half
They were
was
in it for an hour,
exceptional.
right?
Sullivan and Sloan played really well, scored a couple of good tries. And like I said, the forwards were bashing, were very physical. I was impressed with the guys off the bench. Jacob Little, the hooker they bought from the Tigers, is injury prone. When he came on, he makes a difference all the time. But yeah, that last 10 minutes just absolutely killed him, and it was all Payne Haas. He came on.
He came on fresh.
He did.
He looked like a man playing amongst boys.
But Reynolds had that ball on a string, and I think back, South didn't want him. They had a choice out of him and Cody, and they kept Cody and got rid of Reynolds. I don't understand that because the guy is all class.
And he's linking really well with Walsh, Reece Walsh.
I've never seen a guy with a better kicking game than him. His kicking game is phenomenally good. It's brilliant. What about you, George?
We watched it together.
Yeah, I watched it again. And
did you watch it again?
Yeah, of course.
We watched it together, and similarly, I was shocked but happily that the scores were very close. I think for 60 minutes, about that, both teams were equal. St George were
70 minutes, man. It was 18 all with 70 minutes.
Yeah. So for 70 minutes, I think St George were equal, and I was actually a little bit shocked. I won't lie. They were giving as good as they got. Sullivan and Sloan, I've got to admit that more they play, more they're going to look like they did. Especially Sloan. My God, he was uncontrollable. But something happened. With 10 minutes to go, a gentleman called Payne Haas came on, and everything changed because number one, they're going forward, and every set is a 50-meter carry set or 60-meter carry set instead of a 30-meter carry set. Reynolds on $700,000, and someone wants 1.2.
You always have to go back and take a shot at him there.
You know
why don't you point your gun at Luke Brooks, who is on 1.2?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Right?
Yeah.
Ponga.
Ponga.
And you want me to keep going for feeder?
Let's do it. Anyway, I just love doing it. He kicked us in Georgia tactically out of the game, unfortunately. But it's not only Payne Haas. You got to throw in Carrigan. I love Carrigan.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
You know what? Ricky and Capewell, they're not highlight players, but what they do is they just tighten everything up in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They tighten up everything, and they let Haas and Carrigan do the rest, and then you got the backs. So Herbie has a quiet game, but all of a sudden, Arthur and Walsh decide to explode. You know what I mean? So that's a sign of a good team when someone has not an ordinary game, a normal game, where he's a bit quiet. The teammates pick it up. You know what I mean? They're outstanding. They're going to make the top four, the Broncos. There'll be no dip like last year, and they're just going to keep on improving. And St George, I feel sorry for Hook, and we'll talk about that later. You know what? They're going to keep on improving. I believe they're going to keep on improving.
You know what also was the biggest turning point in this game? St George were up 18-8 or whatever it was. St George put a kick in goal beautifully. They had him in control. Mm-hmm. And then the Broncos do a short dropout, and Moses Sully, for some unknown reason, tries to catch the ball inside the 10, and it ends up being a penalty to Brisbane. Yeah, and on the back of that, Brisbane scored, and then after that, St George were on the back foot. After that, Reynolds was just kicking them to death, and they had no ball. That one stupid moment absolutely killed the Dragons as well. It just turned it around.
When they started rolling for that last 10 minutes, they just kept it up, and off the back of Reynolds' boot, they just kept it up, and St George just couldn't
They had no ball, and it was 83% humidity, 30 degrees at night.
Yeah,
Apparently they were dying in that heat, and they had no ball. ever since that moment, it even got
I-
worse.
So saying that, our thing about just too hot. I wouldn't worry about it. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
too hot.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be.
absolutely.
I'm not so quick to judge the Dragons on that
No,
last
me
15
too.
minutes.
No.
They were in it for an hour,
Mm.
and the Broncos just came home strong. And
They did.
when
yeah.
any team who has the luxury of bringing Haas off the bench fresh with 15 minutes to go
Yeah.
is going to be hard to stop.
And you know the interesting thing about Payne Haas? He's 22.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
a baby.
You become a man in the front row at 27.
Yeah.
And the Broncos, to me, are the most impressive team to me so far this year. The first
Yep.
3 games
Yes.
have been very impressive.
no,
they're
no.
going to be definitely top
Yeah,
4. I
they're
reckon
top
they're going to
4.
push for a grand final
I
spot,
think
to be
so.
honest.
I think
And,
so.
and
There'll
it's
be
a
no
young
dip.
team, and this team here is going to challenge Penrith to become a dominant team
Yeah.
because they are that good.
Yeah.
And all hats off to Kevin Walters because it was a masterstroke keeping Huss on the bench and bringing him on
Yep.
last 10 minutes.
Look,
masterstroke.
beat 'em
Robbo, take 2.
Look, we were saying the same thing halfway through the season last year.
Yeah.
I'll wait. I'll wait and see.
Yeah,
They
won't
look
drop
great
off.
at the moment.
They won't drop off.
I'll wait and see.
They won't drop off this year.
Um,
By the way, Israel Man, wow.
He's good.
Sunday afternoon, Bulldogs at Belmore. Full house. I think it was about 15,000, 16,000, George.
I loved it. It was too hot. They shouldn't have played. That's what I think.
26 to 22 over the
Crazy.
Tigers.
Mm.
Thoughts on this one?
They came out of the blocks. They were very physical. They moved the ball around. Carraz is on a different level. The future Lebanese immortal. He's on an absolute different level. He's leading the daily endpoints, I believe, with all right. Okay, there's a hooker, which I can't believe, and Nick tells me that he's seen.
I
Last
can't believe
year.
we're going here again.
Well, I didn't see it.
As far as
I'm
George-
so
like,
I
impressed.
saw it, man. I'm not a Paris supporter.
Reed Marnie went to the Bulldogs and he learned how to play footy in the last 3 months. Like, seriously.
But have you
Forget the fact that he played in the grand final last year.
But have you seen what he's
He was
doing?
on the verge of playing for Queensland if
Yeah.
he didn't get injured.
He should play for Queensland.
No, this was 2 years ago, last year, right?
Well, I
And
did-
all of a sudden,
Either-
he's learned how to play over one summer.
No. But
Cameron Serraldo's taught him how to play footy in 3 months.
No. All I'm saying is he had a specific job at Parramatta. Now, obviously, because we haven't got a halfback, okay, he's doing that a little bit extra. I don't know. I didn't see it, but maybe because we haven't got a halfback, I see it more. Okay, he was outstanding. How good is Amorati?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
He's 19, so he's just going to
He's
keep
gonna
on
be great,
keep on
yeah.
improving. Hayes
Dunster.
sorry,
Perham.
Hayes,
Perham.
sorry, Hayes Perham from the start of the year, which I thought he was going to be a train wreck. He's actually coming good.
Mm.
He's actually coming good.
It's his third game. He hasn't played many
He was
games.
good for a few games last year as well,
There you
but you
go.
probably didn't see them.
With Parramatta,
Yeah.
I did see it. No, I did see it.
I remember Saints were playing Para, and Saints
did
actually
see
had a handy lead. And Reed Marnie changed the game. He just he just took over.
Oh, he's
Moses
awesome
nowhere.
player.
This guy was just unbelievable.
No, he's an awesome.
And from
yeah.
then I've been keeping an eye on him, and he's been sensational. When Parramatta are down in the dumps, he'll pull something out.
He started
He's
doing
so
that in
good.
2019.
Exactly. Yeah,
19.
he's been that good.
I like him off the ball too. I like him a lot off the ball. You know what? Our forwards are depleted, but what we've got, you know what I mean? It was Kickout's best game.
This Jacob Preston guy's pretty good.
Preston's good, yeah.
He's not bad,
I
though.
think he's a Manly junior.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's very unlikely. He's a gangly, tall back rower, but doesn't he get the job done?
Yeah.
He's always there. So, you know what? For 70 minutes, they played well. Do I have to talk about West? They're a train wreck. The last 10 minutes, they came back and made the score look respectable, which bought them time. But I feel so sorry for Appy. I feel so sorry and I know he knew what he was doing, and I know he bought in and all the rest and took the money, and I don't know, but I just feel for him.
So just on West. So Sheen's pulled Nofaluma off the field.
Mm.
Switch Staines to the wing.
Yep.
Dewey to fullback. Brought in Wakeham to play 7. Shifted Brooks to 6. So you've got a situation where the $1.2 million player gets moved for someone who's on minimum wage, 120 grand.
And he made a difference too. Wake
Big difference.
Came on and played really well.
But in my honest opinion, this was the bludger of the round.
Yeah.
By far.
right? The
By far.
both teams' completions were hovering around the 70% mark. There were so many mistakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, it was a mistake of time.
Apart from Burton's try, most of the tries were there's a couple of intercepts. There was a couple of length of the fielders. Ado Carr's motor is not what it was 2 years ago. I know it was hot.
It was very hot.
The guy was jogging
Mm,
and he had his hands on his knees for 2 minutes.
yeah.
He doesn't have the speed that he had a couple of years ago.
Well,
And I noticed that last year. And we'll see as
We'll
the season
see, man.
unfolds.
I don't wanna
you
jinx.
may be right. At the moment, the best thing about this game is that the Bulldogs got 2 points. Everything else,
Burton played well. He had scored a screamer of a try. That was a great effort.
It was a great try. And the other thing as well, a team that is in the kind of developmental phase that the Bulldogs are
that's
in,
what they are.
you
Yeah.
have to win ugly.
Mm.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Nico, I heard something. Someone, what's our hairdresser's?
Josephine.
Josephina.
Josephina had one of the wags in the chair, and I heard something which I hope is wrong. I heard that in the box, Benji coaches, and Sheens takes over the last 10 minutes when the pressure's on or whatever. Now, I sincerely hope that's wrong, because he might as well give it up now, Sheens. You know what I mean? If he's doing that.
Well, he's the one who made that call
Yeah,
that
he's the
made
one-
him
yeah.
score 3 tries in 4
Exactly.
minutes.
Well, if that's the go, good-o. But I'm just saying
He
that
unlocked something there.
what I'm saying is, I mean, Benji's an assistant coach, full stop.
Yeah.
Okay, Sheens, you're the guy with your balls or your reputation on the line. No disrespect, I know he's the next, he's the incoming, but wait for 2 years, teach him something.
Yeah,
I
I'm still not-
sincerely hope.
I'm still not
it's
convinced with Sheens, like with his approach so far. So this weekend they're going to be fielding an entirely different lineup to what they did last weekend. Not in terms of the personnel, in terms of the positional changes.
Yeah, I
So
think
again, minimum wage guy is going to be taking the halfback role.
Mm.
Luke Brooks, who someone said on one of the shows, 13 years and they're still paying him on his potential.
On his reputation.
Yeah,
Potential. Yeah. That was Kenty.
So it's Kenty, okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean Nofaluma's not in the squad?
yeah,
he-
Staines,
he's got dropped.
Staines played much better on the wing than he did at fullback
he's a
anyway.
he's
Yeah.
a
John
winger.
Bateman had an absolute shocker, but
I
he
think
can
so.
be forgiven. It was his first game in.
in heat.
40
Right.
degrees, the poor guy.
He tried hard.
He tried
right?
hard. No, he tried hard.
But Sheens needs to look. Wakeham went there and did something special. Can he do it? Can he do that again?
We'll see. We'll see this week if he can. And I think there's a winger probably out of favour.
Nofoaluma.
Yeah, and I just want to second your comments about Carraz. He was outstanding. Just gets better every week.
Yeah, you know what? Joking aside now, he's leading the Dally M, but at the end of the day, he's not going to win the Dally M. But you know
Well,
what?
we
His
don't know
improvement.
that.
We don't know. We don't know that.
He's just getting better and better.
yeah,
Well,
wingers.
last year he was probably one of the best in the Bulldogs, wasn't he?
He really
And-
stood
and
out,
this
yeah.
year he's just
Was.
proving how good he is. So
Yeah.
good on him.
Well, what I suggest is that his improvement is just out of sight.
Mm.
So, look, I enjoy watching players like that, and Bulldogs need a player like that in every way. You know what I mean? Cultural and
Well, that's what I said last week. And you guys pointed out he's not a Bulldogs junior. He came
He
from
is.
Newcastle.
He
or something.
was.
Like
He
he
is. We found out
He
he
seems
is.
to have that DNA.
Yeah, he is.
The club man. You know,
Yeah, no,
future captain kind of DNA.
big. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a story another day about him, how he got to Bulldogs. Yeah.
But look, the last game wasn't the highest quality, but gee, it was exciting. The Raiders at home pipped the Sharks 24 points to 20. Another close one. A lot of close games this week. Canberra did well, grabbed their first win of the season. What did you guys think of that one?
I'll let you
Sharks having similar issues to the Cowboys, or is it too early for alarm bells?
Too early for alarm bells, I think, but they're not at that level. But I think this week with Nico coming back, I think everything will change. I hope. And you know what? The Raiders, they're a hard-working.
take.
They're a
Yeah.
hard-working team. You know what I mean? They'll win enough. You know what I mean? Look, it was 4 tries at all.
I know. It's another game. That's the fifth game, I think.
Four tries off.
Both teams scored the same
It's-
tries. It went to goal
It's
kick.
been outstanding, seriously, this season in terms
It
of
has.
com-
Closeness.
yeah, it's been outstanding. Like I said, I'll sit in front of the television and and expect a good game, and I usually get it. So be it the quality might not be sky high, but the scores make it intriguing. So and I don't I sit and watch and not worry about any team. Not in round 3.
Funniest thing I saw this weekend,
What's that?
Ricky Stewart's press conference went for 8 minutes.
What do you say?
Not much, but they normally go for about 90 seconds.
Yeah.
But he was obviously in a good mood because they won.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he decided to stick around for a while.
Okay. So Rudolph didn't play well, I'll tell you now. Blake didn't play well. He just had one of those games. I think they've got to make some decisions on Super Senna. Talakai, is he a centre or we put him back into the back row?
Yeah.
Everybody's favourite winger on a losing team. On a losing team, I think Ronaldo was the best on ground.
Yep.
I love him. I love Ronaldo. He's in our team of mugs, mate. Will Kennedy keeps on improving. And
Will
he's
Kennedy's
great.
sensational.
He's
yeah.
great. And you know what? I couldn't really fault too many of the Raiders. They all put in and tried hard. Yeah.
There's my man crush
Yeah.
there, Joseph Tapin.
Yeah, he's
a
outstanding.
fantastic player. Yeah.
Tapin is when's Sting Bob coming back? Their fullback, Canberra's fullback, Rapana.
Oh,
Another week,
another
week or
week.
two.
They're
Yeah.
missing him.
1 week, I think.
isn't it
3?
Savage? Isn't it Savage?
No, Rapana had a 3-week ban.
Okay.
And Savage,
missing
I'm
him.
not sure when he's back from
Yeah,
injury.
he's the superstar. He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
'Cause
Phenomenal.
Chris does his best. He's not a fullback. He does his best, but he's not a fullback. And you know what? Where the victory comes from is Canberra's forwards. I mean, you know.
Yeah, Emre Gula's been pretty strong.
I
hasn't he?
love.
He's solid.
Thank
eh?
you for saying
He's
that.
Turkish. The Turkish
Is he?
international. He's a future Turkish
Okay,
immortal.
I love you saying that because I think he's such a good player.
He is. Yeah.
But I'm scared to say it because you know what? He comes on. He's not a very fashionable type of player. Okay, and the Big Red. How about the Big Red?
Yeah.
Things got a big story about the Big Red.
Corey Horsburgh.
Mate, Horsburgh. Mate, look at him. You know, he had last year, or the year before, he played a little bit for the Dogs. He had
Yeah,
a
during the
couple
COVID
yeah,
period.
yeah. You know what? He was outstanding for us. He seriously was. I'm a big fan. You know what I mean? And Ricky's a big fan as well. So, Elliot Whitehead played well, and our favourite Jack Whiten.
Jack Whiten was great. Yeah.
I don't know if he's a 5'8", but I love him anyway. I
Yeah,
love him anyway.
Some rapid fire questions, boys.
Go.
Best game of the round?
Best game of the round. Oh, mine went to the Roosters' house.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
I would
game.
agree with that.
I
Yeah.
The
enjoyed-
feeling in
enjoyed
it
that.
was great.
I enjoyed that.
Bludger of the round?
The Bulldogs won.
think,
Actually,
That was a mistake-a-thon.
yeah, but actually St Helens at Hull, but yeah, Roosters.
No, we're talking NRL,
Oh, sorry.
George.
Roosters. The Bulldogs game. The Bulldogs game.
Yeah.
What stood out this round?
For me, there was 2 games that had 4 tries in the last 10 minutes. That's pretty freaky, man.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It was a triathlon, and usually the last 10 minutes everyone's buggered, but these
Oh yeah.
yeah, 8 tries in 10 minutes or in 20 minutes really. It's pretty amazing. That stood out to me. So
George?
that was my standout.
The standard of every game. Like I said, I can sit down and I know I'm in for a treat.
For
So
me, I'm
I
just going
loved
to
it.
say the Dolphins because it's a feel-good story.
Yeah, they're the best. I missed that one. Yeah.
Who gets the John Kreese spray?
I'm giving it to the defense of the Cowboys, man. They've gone off their game big time. They've got to really get back. And I know if Bellamy was there, he'd be screaming his guts out at those guys and saying, "What the hell's going on?"
You know what? When I went to answer the question, all these dark thoughts came in my mind. All those people that I keep on, let's say, bagging every week. So I don't want to bag anyone. I'm not giving
Okay.
any spray.
No,
I'm going to give it to Cody Walker.
Cody.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's another. Good
Actually,
one,
you know what? I'll give it to Cody Walker.
yeah. There you go.
Bugger. I give it to Cody. He's an idiot. sometimes.
Manoli's player of the round.
You know what? Manoli's player of the round. This is his first award, and you know what? Manoli is dying to get him into the shop because he's a connoisseur. He loves his kebabs, but we got to tell him that they're not kebabs. They're Euroses.
Yeah, you're right.
So and it's Karaz, okay, but the kicker here is that he hasn't had the fries with the extra parmesan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so whether he tries to, you know what, he might put the fries in the kebab like they do in the gyro.
That's the gyros, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Well, yeah. So
Well, sorry, the euro.
the gyros.
How do you pronounce? Yeah,
gyros,
Gyros,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm waiting to hear feedback because he's never had a gyro.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mate, I've given it to 2 people, and
Two?
I know Manoli's got Stavrola chasing up some more meat because these guys are big eaters. They're massive eaters, and Stavrola's really doing overtime. She's plucking a few chickens there to make extra chicken. Mine went to Huss and Warrior Hargraves. Those 2 guys just came on and destroyed the games. They just made such a difference. And I think those 2 big bodies deserve the Manoli Award for me this week.
Can I tell you something? They won't have enough meat in
They
the
won't
shop.
have enough.
No.
Stavrola's going to be...
No way.
I've never put chips into a kebab, but I'll take your word for it.
Yep.
For me, I was originally going to go with Adam Reynolds, but upon thinking about it, I've got to go with Carraz. I thought he was a standout. Yeah.
You know what? For a winger to come in to take those really hard carries, and Taha does it, okay, and that's why he's so good. But Taha is a big unit. I don't think Carraz is that big. I'm sure he's big and strong.
I don't want to spike your blood pressure, but just picture for a moment Carraz playing in a Penrith or in a system like that, just how good he could be.
Yeah, at the moment.
You know,
absolutely.
I just think he's got that potential. He really stood out for me.
Love him. Love Carraz, young Carraz.
Artie, let's turn it over to Artie for the sin bin.
The Simbin, yes. Oh, I've got a really interesting one today.
What do
I'm
you
going to
got?
grab a drink for this one.
Yeah, me
Grab
too,
a drink,
actually.
boys. Now, the poor chookies always cop the sombrero treatment. No, I've had enough. I'm a Dragons supporter, but I love the Chooks, okay? Because I reckon they're just a very well-managed team, right? Now, I had a look at their squad, and I just wanted to see how many players. Now, what in terms of players' worth, would a player who has played NRL with NRL experience be worth more than a junior that has never played NRL?
No.
We've seen that happen before, though, based on potential,
Yeah.
haven't we?
We have, but
But a guy that's won coming off grand finals and plays reps would be worth more than a junior that has never played.
Of course.
Okay.
oh yeah, that
Yeah.
way. Yeah, I thought the other way around.
Oh,
yeah.
well, guys that have got a lot of experience, right?
yeah,
okay,
we've heard.
good. All right. So I looked at the Roosters team, right?
Yeah.
And they've got 14 Roosters players that have started their debuts at the Roosters and 11 that have played for other clubs before they joined the Roosters.
about
So
right.
14, 11, right?
That's about right.
Out of those 11, 7 of them are in the starting. So there's 4. The 4 that they've got from others are Jake Turpin, what is his name? Corey Allen, Drew Hutchison, and not Paul Morrissey, another guy. Some guy from the Eels called Eli Elazakaram. So, right, they're 4 guys that they bought from other clubs. So 7 of the guys they bought from other clubs, right, playing their starting, right? Now I went to our 3 clubs, right? Okay. I went to the Eels. They've got 11 players that have started their debuts at the Eels and 17 that have come from other clubs.
Oh shit.
And 12 of those 17 play in the starting 17. 12
ones
players
they
they've bought are in their
shit.
starting,
I
right?
didn't expect that.
Exactly. Compared to 7 from the Roosters, right?
Yeah, but you need to add some context there as well. The Eels don't have $1 million player.
They don't?
No.
Okay.
They're the
okay.
only team in the top 6 for the last few years that hasn't.
So Gutherson, close to
No.
the million, but he's close
He's
to the
not on $1
million.
million.
7
Who's the $1 million player from the Roosters? Here we go.
Tedesco,
for sure.
he's on 1.2.
He's got to be.
Okay, who else?
How much is Smith on?
Brandon Smith?
Yeah.
That's just now. Okay.
Angus Crichton.
Let's go back to the Roosters team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the Roosters team. I'll bring out this stat as well.
Minicello still has a job at the club.
Yeah, okay. The grand final...
I'm just saying.
No, okay. All right. No, fair enough. I'll defend him again. Okay. Now, in the grand final team in 2018 and 19, right, these are the players that aren't there now, right?
Yep.
Latrell Mitchell, Blake Ferguson, Cooper Cronk, Jake Friend, Tahiako, whatever his name is, Cordner, Orbison, Napa, and Madison, right? That was the 2018 team, right? So quite a few good players there. Latrell Mitchell's $1 million player. He'd be worth on $1 million.
He wasn't at the Roosters.
Yeah, but Cronk, right?
Hey, by the way, Cronk's still employed by the Roosters.
Doesn't matter. He's not playing.
Oh, well,
for
wait
them.
a second.
I'm
How
just
do
saying.
we know they don't sign him on a 5-year deal, pay him for 2 years and pay him even more for the next 3 when he's off out of the cap.
No, but I'm just saying, look at the
I'm playing devil's
transition.
advocate, by the way.
Look at the transition they've made from
Yeah.
all those players to these current players,
Yeah.
right? And then everyone says, oh, they got the sombrero. They were just replacing good players for good players. So they're losing a $1 million player, but they're getting another $1 million player. That's the smarts of them, right? The 2019 team had Latrell Mitchell, Brett Morris, Cronk, Verrills, Louis, Cordner, Orbison, Crichton. Oh, no, Crichton's still there. Tukiaho and Jake Friend. So they've lost quite a few players in those 3 years. And how many have they gained from that? Not really many.
But how many players were bumped up between then and now?
But wait a minute.
How many players were extended?
Let's look at
Doesn't
it.
matter about that, though.
Give me some numbers. What's Radley worth?
Doesn't matter. He came from the Roosters
What's he-
academy there.
but he's been re-signed
But
during that
wait,
time.
We don't know
Arthur.
we don't know what he's on. You're just going to throw $1 million number.
no,
How do you know he's not on
But
6?
if
He's
we
not a
don't,
$1 million
if we don't
player.
know what they're on, then we can't have it both ways.
No, but I'm saying they don't go out and poach players from other teams.
No, they
'cause
don't.
I find
No, they don't.
But-
No,
They,
they
don't.
develop.
They get them from
But
young and they
they
make
develop,
them superstars.
But Radley, Suwali,
Yep.
Tedesco, Manu, they've all been extended during that time
Exactly. But
and bumped up.
exactly. But they
Right.
started on cheap as chips.
And Brandon Smith, you really believe he went there for 700,000 or whatever it was?
Again, they lost Jake Friend. Do you reckon Jake Friend was on $5? He would have been on
Do you
a
think
whole
he was
bit
on
of
$1 million?
He would have been probably as much as Jake Friend.
Nah, come
Brandon.
on. He's not even a rep player.
Who? Jake
Jake
Friend?
Friend.
Didn't he play for Queensland?
Did he?
I'm sure he
All
did.
right, fair
There
enough.
you go.
But you know what?
Mate.
He's not. It wasn't a big name.
Come on, mate.
You know what? In terms of do they go identify young and they develop them?
Exactly.
Yes, they do.
They
They
do.
got teams. They got feeder teams in the Central Coast, and they develop them. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree there. Okay, they don't really buy massive names. I agree there as well. They
Yeah.
did buy Smith, but they got him for unders. Do you go there for? Do you go there for unders for the promise of your future? I think that's true too.
Yeah.
Okay, but does Nick Politis pull some strings? Whatever, however, I believe that too. But wait a minute, does Gus Gould? Yes. Does
and that's a good point. We're not
everybody
saying they're the
does.
only club that does
Yeah,
it. They're the
yeah.
best
No,
at doing it.
Yeah,
But
they're
I'm
the
ju-
best at doing it.
But I'm just saying, like everyone always looks at Roosters pinching players. But look,
oh no,
they
no,
had
no.
Latrell Mitchell. They had Latrell
No,
Mitchell
no,
in their
no.
books,
We're not-
and now they've got Suwali playing his spot.
No.
That's just smart recruitment.
No, it is. But
It's really
but
smart.
I'm not like. I don't see them as being one of the big poachers of the competition.
No, they're not poachers.
I just think they're smart at how they manage their books.
Gus Gould's a poacher.
But every
I
time
agree there.
Every time a player signs for the Roosters, everyone's just straight away sombrero.
You-
They've
you-
got so much
you know
money
why?
out. and
Well,
they're
when you
sold.
turn down $1.4 million for 700, you got to ask questions, right? Brandon Smith could have gone to the Dolphins. You got to ask yourself the question.
And you know what?
This guy's won premierships. He's done everything.
By the end of the year, they're going to have Dominic Young as well. Now,
Yeah.
They just signed Nathan Brown.
They just got nothing. I'm going to say
They got him cheap. Come on, you're not
They
going
did
to put
get
him
him
in a
cheap.
high
No,
bracket.
but still part of the
Parramatta's
cap.
playing.
300k. Still,
Parramatta's playing.
650 he was on.
yes,
Exactly.
300. They'll probably
They're
pay
going to play
300
300.
They're paying
That's
400 for him.
And they did the
Yeah.
same with the other guy. The
Dominic Young.
the other forward they've got last year that came from Broncos.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
They'll do.
Lodge.
Yeah.
Lodge,
Lodge.
yeah.
Well,
He's injured. You know what? Is Jared on $1 million? Maybe not. Is Brandon on $1 million? No. Okay. Drew Hutchins definitely not. You know, is Fletcher Baker? Probably not.
no, see.
Is Eden?
It's spread out pretty
Probably
well.
not.
And if you look at the other teams, like I looked at the Dragons, they've got 14 players that are Dragons started the Dragons debut, and they've got 14 from other clubs. 8 of them currently in the starting side out of the 14. If you look at the Bulldogs, what is the Bulldogs?
Everybody's bought.
I think
Yeah.
everybody.
that was the most amazing stat. They've got 12 guys from the Dogs, 16 from other clubs, 13 of the 17 starting are from bought.
Yeah.
They've only
It's-
got 4.
I think it's a good point. I just don't think it's necessarily an accurate weighting of the salary cap because you have to look at the players who have been extended during that period. No one gets extended for the same money. Very rarely does anyone get extended for less. They get extended for
No,
more.
you'll be surprised. Ben Hunt got extended for less.
I'm talking about the Roosters.
No, but how do you know the Roosters don't? People would just
What?
estimate amounts.
I mean, they're going to extend Tedesco and Suwali and give them pay cuts.
Well, Suwali's a young fella, so they're going to extend
Yeah,
him.
who's on big money.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to extend him. If they do bring in Nate Brown or whatever they do, it's probably on the back of losing Warrior Hargraves because next year they haven't got him on the books. And they lost all those other forwards from
They
last
still
year.
might. Robbo said last
they
night they
might.
still might.
Yeah, because they're probably going to see how much he wants.
You know what? What you're saying, Adi, it's all right. Everything's correct. I mean, they do sort of breed their own, and they get everybody for unders. I agree with that. And he looks the eye the just the look of it doesn't look good because, like I said, they just got Brown. They're just going to they're going to bring Thing by the end of the year definitely. The winger from Penrith.
Dominic Young.
Yeah, they're going to bring Young. You know what I mean?
They want him now,
They want him now. Yeah.
which means they've got room in the cap now.
But how?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
What is it? 10 million the cap?
Isn't it 11? Oh, no,
11?
yeah, it's 11.5 or something. Yeah.
11 and a half. 11 and a half million, and you have to run 30 players.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, every time they lose a player, no one remembers that. They lost their whole front row from the grand finals. They had
They're probably still
Takiaho,
getting paid
Cordner,
off.
and Orbison. Right? That's a pretty good forward pack there. You know, you
Look,
lost a fair chunk.
Hypothetically,
You know, they're the best managed team in the
they
league.
are, and I'm just
Best managed.
I'm playing devil's advocate because I've always said I wish my club
Well, yeah,
would
me
operate
too.
the way
exactly,
they do,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Is it possible that Cooper Cronk signed for 2 years as a player? What if we say we'll sign you for 6 years, 2 years as a player, we'll give you $800,000 a year, and for the next 4 years, we'll give you $800,000 a year,
Yeah.
and he's working for the club. Because once he's an assistant coach, we don't know what he gets. It's no one's business.
It's over.
Didn't Canterbury get in trouble for that with the guy, Josh?
But the Roosters are the best run club. You wouldn't
Yeah,
know,
no.
right? Let's not. I mean, no one. Yeah, beachfront property. Who knows?
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. I can't remember the incident.
But
I don't want to throw.
With Cooper Cronk, though, he did take Mitchell Pearce's spot, who was a current Origin halfback, wasn't he? Because he was there before.
yeah.
So he
Mitch
would have
was
been
on-
on a head
Mitch
on.
was
They
on
just swapped
dollars.
money. They just went, okay, you're taking Mitch Pearce's money.
Yeah, I don't.
They're just-
I
they're
don't
just
think.
clever.
I don't believe for 1 second that Mitchell Pearce was getting paid what Cronk was getting paid.
You'll be
I think they
surprised.
were. I think it probably was. I
He
don't
was
think
a state of origin half at the stage.
Yeah,
He was
I don't think
number
that's.
one.
I don't think that was the issue. Again, it's a night test, Artie. It doesn't look good. It doesn't smell good. Now you know what? They might be under the cap, and everything might be hunky dory because they've never been caught. Okay, but all I can say to you is, if we were in a pub and having a conversation about the Roosters, the first thing we'll say is how they fucking under the cap.
Easy.
Well, look,
Like I said, I reckon the grand finals back line of Tedesco, Tupou, Mitchell, Manu, and Ferguson is a lot better than what they've got now.
but they're also performing a lot better than they are now.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
But in terms of salary,
Right.
Anyway.
You know what?
You know what?
I think great
Tedesco-
research. You've really
Yeah.
put some time into that. It's obvious. So thanks for doing that.
But what
And by the way, again, I agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
no, they're the best run club in the thing. But you just said a
just
couple of
think
names:
they're
Tedesco, Tupu, Suwali,
Manu, Jackson, Polo.
Polo, Kiri, and Walker. Let me tell you, I wish I had that back line.
Kiri and
Kiri, how
Walker,
much is Kiri on?
or Kiri and Cronk.
8, 9. Huh?
Kiri and Walker, and they had Kiri and Cronk here in that.
Yeah, well, Kiri and Cronk.
So
Kiri, Walker.
Walker or Cronk, who would you prefer?
Yeah, Cronk.
There
Okay,
you go.
but still, I mean,
They've taken a little bit of a haircut there and they've put it up there. You know
it's
what
not
I mean?
It's not a bad back line.
I've said.
No, I'm not
I've,
saying it's a bad back line, but they're just smart at just replacing good
Yeah.
for good.
I've said for a long time that there's no club more under the spotlight when it comes to the salary
exactly.
cap than the
Exactly.
Roosters, and they're one of the few clubs that have never been pinned for doing something wrong.
Yeah.
At least in recent memory that I can think of.
Exactly.
So
Best
they're
run
either the
club in the
best
comp.
managed club in the
Best
comp,
managed club in the comp.
or they're good at not getting caught, or a combination of both. Either way, I wish they were running my club.
Yeah, and can I be honest? I mean, I bitch and whinge because it's just fun, but I love watching them play.
Of course.
I love the Roosters.
Of course.
I love the
and
Roosters.
the thing with, like, when Tedesco joined the Roosters, they just lost the Dally M medal winner in Tavasa Sheck. So they got rid of a Dally M medal winner who was the best in the NRL at the time and replaced him with Tedesco.
there's no doubt
So that's
they buy
Yeah, it's true,
extremely smart, and there's
Exactly.
no doubt that the Roosters brand attracts.
it's the brand,
top
for
You know
sure.
what's funny? My question is,
No
when you
doubt.
talk about that grand final lineup, how was that team under the cap? But no, thanks, Artie. That was.
If I can give you a
I'm
team
jo-
from 3
I'm
years
joking,
ago,
I'm joking.
it's just as
I'm,
good.
I'm joking. I've said it a million times. I'm jealous.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
My team got caught
Absolutely.
cheating the cap, and we came
Came
last.
last. I love that. That's my favourite
I'll
line.
keep going back there, man.
Did you have to
How-
give the spoon